if you're like me, I'm 64 now. I noticed a difference, and I'm fighting it. But as you have to constantly fight it. But if you're not doing anything to fight it, you're going to notice some muscle mass loss, and you're going to notice some more accumulation of body fat. That's an inverse proportion. You don't want that. You want more muscle mass. Welcome back to Mark's 60 Plus Fitness Journey. So, should older folks, 50, 60, 70, 80, even older, lift weights? Should they participate in resistance training? And I think a better way to frame that is with a statement and our declaration. Why older folks, senior folks, should do resistance training, weight training. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get at it. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I'm a big advocate of weight training, resistance training, weightlifting as we age. And whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 or older, I think it is a good idea to lift weights. So the answer to the question is yes, it's a good thing for older folks to lift weights. And along that line, I stumbled across an article the other day that I would like to share with you. So let's give it a look-see. Okay, so I like to peruse the internet looking for articles covering topics from senior health, senior strength, aging, so forth and so on. And I stumbled across this particular article the other day, and it's from the National Institute of Aging. And the National Institute of Aging has some pretty good articles on here. A lot of this stuff is just high level, which is good. And I found this particular one, and it's titled, How Can Strength Training Build Healthier Bodies as We Age? And that's what I want to talk about. Now, this is kind of a high level overview of why it's a good idea to use resistance training, strength training as we age. And I think that's a good place to start. Now, most of you folks out there will know and have firsthand evidence, objective evidence of why it's a good thing to lift weights as we age. Now, if you're on the fence and you're considering getting back into the fitness world or just get into it in general after a lifetime of not ever really participating in any kind of fitness program, and you think you'd like to get into some resistance training, some weightlifting, some barbell training type stuff, I think this kind of article right here will make you feel a little more at ease about going into it, in that, it's a good idea. You're not going to get hurt. It's a good thing to do as you age, and it's not too late to do it. So let's get into it. There's a couple of things I want to talk about here in particular. I don't want to talk about everything, but this particular one right here, muscle mass, use it or lose it. I think this is particularly interesting because this gets to the crux of the matter. And it says here, age-related mobility limitations are a fact of life for many older adults. Studies have shown that about 30% of adults over 70 have trouble walking, getting out of a chair, or climbing stairs. Now, I don't know about you, but that 30% seems a little low. Based on some of the 70-plus-year-olds I've seen that have never actually participated in any fitness activity, had become totally sedentary. At number 30% seems conservative. But at any rate, there are older folks that are having trouble with mobility. And it says and it kind of goes without saying, a big culprit of losing our physical abilities as we grow older is age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, which is called sarcopenia. It's typically muscle mass and strength increases, when you're younger, up to about 30, 35 years old. I think it's a little longer than that, actually, but you get stronger up to about 35, 40 years old. And after that, muscle power or performance declines slowly and linearly at first, then faster at age 65 for women and 70 for men. Now, if you're like me, I'm 64 now. I noticed a difference, and I'm fighting it. But you have to constantly fight it. But if you're not doing anything to fight it, you're going to notice some muscle mass loss, and you're going to notice some more accumulation of body fat. That's an inverse proportion. You don't want that. You want more muscle mass and less body fat. So And one of the points here it's making is, however, such average decline of strength and power with aging can be substantially slowed down by maintaining an active lifestyle. Now, active lifestyle covers a lot of things. And if you're new to this, like I said, you want to get into this, obviously, you can start at a lower level. You can start with walking. You can start with hiring a coach or a trainer to get you into this, and start at a low level. Start at a point where you're confident in what you can do, and build up and build up and build up. And pretty soon you'll find, and you'll discover that you certainly can lift weights as you age, and you'll see the benefits of resistance training and getting stronger and improving your muscle mass as you're getting older. Okay, so now let's talk about sarcopenia. You may or may not have heard of sarcopenia. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can read this. That's odd, but that's what I have to do. Now, sarcopenia is defined as a decline in muscle mass, strength, and function. It's often associated with older adults, but some forms of sarcopenia can affect middle-aged people. And certainly, I'm certain that middle-aged people, that's the 40, 50-year-old group, I would say. And as we just saw, muscle mass and strength increases when you're younger up to about 35 or 40. After that, it starts to decline. So certainly sarcopenia is going to hit middle-aged people if you don't do anything about it. Sarcopenia has been connected with weakness, obviously fatigue, lower energy levels, difficulty standing, walking, climbing stairs. It's all kind of goes without saying. And it says, there's a lot of things that could contribute to it, like chronic diseases, and then contribute to risks of falls, fractures, and other serious injuries. And that does, premature mortality. You certainly don't want that. Poor nutrition and lack of exercise can increase the odds of developing sarcopenia, certainly. You don't want to have sarcopenia, so how do you prevent that? Now, with me, for example, I incorporate resistance training and aerobic activity. Now, there's two forms of aerobic exercises. Well, there's one called aerobic, which is a lower heart rate, steady heart rate, non-huffing and puffing type of activity. And when you're doing that, you're burning oxygen as your energy. Whereas anaerobic is more of a huffing and puffing, higher heart rate, shorter but higher intensity type of exercise, sometimes called HIIT, high intensity interval training. And that would include running and cycling, depending on how intense you're doing it. Now, weightlifting combined with aerobic activity, either with weightlifting with either machines or free weights, is one type of resistance training. Other types include medicine balls, resistance bands, body weight bearing exercises such as pull-ups, squats, yoga, pull-ups. And basically, resistance training is any training that requires the muscles to contract and lift a heavy weight against the pull of gravity. So, if you're new to this, or even if you're not new, a lot of folks that are advanced in their fitness skills use calisthenics exclusively, and they're excellent. Like push-ups, pull-ups. There's a lot of calisthenics out there, but let's just use pull-ups and push-ups as examples. Now, you could start there and gravitate towards resistance training, weightlifting, barbell training, that type of thing. When you do resistance training or strength training, very important chains of molecules that relay signals between cells are affected, and these changes linger in the body for hours after exercise, building up a cumulative positive effect. Even at low intensity, strength and walking program has substantial benefits. So again, if you're new to this and you're looking for some sort of entryway to get into this, make you feel better about it, make you know that it's possible, you can start even at low intensity and still reap some benefits out of this, and it's only going to be more cumulative. You're going to get stronger as you go. Just know you have to go into it with realistic expectations. And there's a couple of other things they touch on here. Can strength training help prevent obesity as we age? Well, that's certainly true. I don't want to talk about this too much because this will become too long. But we will. Let's see, what is this? Folks with obesity need more muscle mass to carry their body weight. When they get older, they can't compensate by producing more muscle mass, so you get sarcopenic obesity, which is the worst of both worlds. Like I was talking about earlier, you lose muscle mass and gain body fat, and that is very difficult. That's a very difficult way to live. What we want to do is just go the opposite. Like I said, we want to reduce body fat, increase muscle mass, and you're going to be way better off. The more muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn during the day, and it's a positive accumulation of good things. You don't want to become a victim of sarcopenic obesity. That doesn't even sound good. Okay, I'm going to leave the link to this particular article in the description down below, and I would encourage you to look it up and look at it in a little more detail. Like I said, it's a high level discussion, but I think it's really good for people, as I said earlier, who are curious about starting a fitness program, and in particular, if you're interested in something like resistance training, weightlifting, weight training, which I highly recommend. I think the thing is to just go into it with some realistic expectations, knowing that if you start small and just incrementally work your way up, you'll find that this is very doable. You just have to make it fun. If you have to, and I encourage this, find a workout partner, find a trainer, find a coach, find someone that can instruct you on how to get into this safely so you can learn it. And you will find over a period of time that even if you're 60, 70, 80 years old, weight training is going to pay large dividends. I've said this before, we want to have a long lifespan, but more importantly, we want to have a long health span. We want to be healthy, mobile, and active in life throughout until the inevitable end. That's my goal anyway. So yes, senior people, older folks should and can lift weights, and I would encourage it. All right, I guess with that I'll say, till next time, go get 'em. Mark out.